Historic first clash in Canada's Parliament. Prime Minister Mark Carney and opposition leader Pierre Poilievre face off. Ottawa Special Report. A new chapter in Canadian political history unfolded as newly elected Prime Minister Mark Carney addressed the House of Commons for the very first time as head of government. Facing him across the chamber was Pierre Poilievre, the leader of the opposition, who engaged Carney in a fiery exchange that quickly set the tone for the political battles to come. Journalists, observers, and ordinary Canadians who watched the session live described it as the beginning of a new political era. Carney's first speech. This is a time for unity, not division. Prime Minister Mark Carney, standing at the dispatch box, began his inaugural address with a tone of optimism and resolve. I stand before this House today not just as Prime Minister, but as a citizen who believes in the strength of our unity. This is not a time for division, but for coming together. We must put aside our differences and work collectively to build a stronger future for every Canadian. Carney emphasized that his government's top priorities would be stabilizing the economy, strengthening healthcare, and creating new opportunities for young Canadians. He highlighted the need for a green economy, insisting that Canada must take the lead globally in sustainable development and climate action. Poilievre's response. Empty promises will not feed families. Opposition leader Pierre Poilievre responded immediately with sharp criticism. Mr. Carney speaks in lofty terms, but Canadians cannot live on promises alone. Inflation is at historic highs, home ownership is beyond the reach of ordinary families, and young people are struggling to find work. This is not a time for grand speeches, it is a time for real action. Poilievre accused the government of ignoring the everyday struggles of working families. According to him, Carney's policies may appeal to investors and elites, but they have little to offer the average Canadian household already struggling under rising costs. The House divided. Cheers, jeers, and interruptions. As Carney concluded his remarks, thunderous applause erupted from the Liberal benches, while opposition MPs broke into laughter and heckles. When Poilievre stood to speak, Conservative MPs chanted slogans like, "Real leadership now," forcing the Speaker of the House to repeatedly intervene and restore order. The chaotic yet electric atmosphere made it clear that Parliament was entering a new phase of highly charged debates and confrontations. Background. Carney's rise and Poilievre's return. Mark Carney, once governor of both the Bank of Canada and the Bank of England, is widely regarded as a financial heavyweight and economic strategist. He captured the leadership of the Liberal Party with nearly 86% of the vote and then led his party to victory in the recent federal election, securing his place as Canada's 24th Prime Minister. Pierre Poilievre, on the other hand, suffered a stunning defeat during the election, losing his parliamentary seat. However, he quickly re-entered the House of Commons through a by-election, reinvigorating the Conservative base and re-establishing himself as leader of the opposition. His return has been viewed by many as the reawakening of Conservative resistance to Liberal dominance. Public reaction. A new beginning, or the same old fight? Across the country, Canadians tuned in to live broadcasts of the first parliamentary clash. Reactions were mixed. Supporters of Carney described his words as hopeful and forward-looking, while Poilievre's base praised his blunt honesty. One university student told reporters, "Carney talked about jobs and opportunities for young people. If he follows through, it could change our future for the better." Meanwhile, a retired civil servant had a different take. Poilievre is right. Families are drowning in bills. Unless the government tackles inflation right away, no amount of speeches will help. Media analysis. Two competing narratives. Canadian media outlets wasted no time dissecting the exchange. Headlines framed the session as the collision of two competing narratives. Editorials suggested that Carney brings a globalist, visionary agenda, while Poilievre positions himself as the defender of ordinary Canadians. One major newspaper wrote, "If Carney can deliver on his promises, he could reshape Canada's economy and international standing." But if Poilievre's criticisms ring true, public confidence in the Liberal government could erode quickly. Looking ahead, a fierce battle expected. Political analysts say the first clash signals the beginning of a fierce rivalry. Carney's greatest challenge will be addressing the inflation crisis and housing affordability. Failure on those fronts could give Poilievre and the Conservatives significant leverage in future elections. At the same time, Carney's international experience and reputation as a financial expert may help him rally investors, global allies, and moderate Canadians to his side. Carney's closing words. Carney ended his speech on an inspirational note. "This chamber is not just the battlefield of politics, but the symbol of public trust. Together, we can build a Canada where no one is left behind." Poilievre's final shot. Not to be outdone, Poilievre concluded with his trademark directness. Canadians don't need dreams, they need solutions. We are here as the voice of the people, and until their struggles are resolved, we will not stay silent. Conclusion. The first session of Parliament under Prime Minister Mark Carney showcased the sharp contrast between two leaders with